Hello and welcome to Ivory Blush Roses. Today I'm going to do just a little update. I haven't been posting a lot of videos here lately and I wanted to just talk briefly about that and what's coming up on the channel and show you some of the things that I've been working on. I apologize for not posting more consistently. I really had hoped to be posting on a regular basis, but I ended up with a pretty hefty cold in January that kept me out for a couple of weeks. And then I've just recently gotten over a spring cold that laid me low for another couple of weeks. I've had a couple of health issues going on, nothing too serious, but my focus has been on that rather than on stitching and doing things. But I have been stitching, so I wanted to show you a few of those things today. Here's what I've been working on. One of the things that I started off with was this piece. This is just a piece of slow stitching, I suppose. It's got some of that Boro or Cantha style stitching going on. I pieced this together, I think back right around the beginning of January, and then I've just gradually been adding to it as I go. And so I have just, some of the standard Boro or Cantha style stitching on it. I've got a few other things I've been playing with, some stitch patterns. There's some seed stitch. This is all lazy daisies. I just did them going one direction and then the other, and I kind of did that both directions. I added a few extras for interest. I did some sort of free form leaves, although I did use a blue disappearing ink marker to mark out the basic shape of the leaf. On this one, it sort of had some spiral type elements, and I just built on that and stitched spirals over it. I think up here I've got some buttonhole stitch. Some places the stitches are all in line with one another, and then in other places they're offset. I've turned some of them into cross stitches of various types. So I've just been having fun with it, and hopefully this will turn into a small cross strap purse. Although truthfully, I wonder how well it'll actually hold up on a day-to-day basis. I've been enjoying that, and it's been a real pleasure to work on. I held all the pieces in place with some invisible basting, and so this is the back side. You can sort of see some of that. Truthfully, sometimes I love the back side of work just as much as I like the front side. I'm really happy with how this is turning out and where it's going. I'm just working with 3 colors of thread. I have a blue, a green, and then a brown, sort of a taupe color. So that's what I've been working on. This has probably been my most common thing in the evenings. I do a little bit of stitching. It is slow stitching, definitely. Let me know in the comments below if you would like me to film some of this type of process in the future. This one is just sort of my personal project right now that I've been working on in the evenings when I'm sitting and watching YouTube. Another thing I've been working on, I was inspired by another stitcher on YouTube. She goes by the name of K3N Cloth Tales, and she was doing some wonky log cabin blocks. I've been intrigued by log cabin blocks for a long time, and I've seen some others over the years that I just really loved. I like that idea of just taking some of those narrow scraps that don't really fit another purpose. And then I played with tea dyeing some bits of fabric and lace, and so I've just had fun turning that into some wonky log cabins. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these, but it's been another one of those things that I've just had a basket of scraps and I've had it sitting next to my chair in the living room. And when I feel like stitching but don't know what to work on, sometimes I work on these. So I've got a few squares done. And like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I haven't really decided, but I'm having a lot of fun with them. We'll see where it takes me. I'm not sure. I have worked a little bit on my Cathedral Window project. I actually am about 3/4 of the way done. I've got very little left to go, maybe a foot in length here. And so I've been working on that. I need really clear, bright light for this one. It's one of the things as I get older, I notice my eyesight's not as sharp. Things are dimmer, and so I need really bright light. This is one I tend to work at on the kitchen table. So if I have other stuff going on the kitchen table, this one is put away. And that's kind of where I am with this one. So this is going to be a this year finish. I know that. It's something I do work on periodically. I'll sew 3 or 4 pieces, roll it up, set it aside, and then I'll do some more on it. That will get finished as well. I've also been working on this piece. I call it my Black Pearl project. I've shown this before. It's really close, and I hope to have a video coming just on that once I'm finished. So that one's, I've been poking along with it. Truthfully, after I finish filming this update, that's probably what I'm going to work on. Really want to get this one done. Now, I've also been working on some other stuff. Back in December, I asked everybody to vote on which project I thought I should work on next. And we had my mother's crazy quilt, and that one will be a bigger project. And I had a Scottish block that I want to get finished. And then I had my Midsummer Fairy project that I'm really interested in working on. It was amazing to watch the votes on that one because it came out almost a 3-way tie. But the fairy block edged out everything else. So the fairy block is my next project. I keep this little project planner. A long time ago, I drew out some stuff, some ideas on what I wanted to do with this block. Then I recently, on a thrifting trip, I found this beautiful vintage frame. Now, originally, I thought I was going to put this on vertically. And so in my project planner, you can see that I sort of drew a circle around it, and then I've played. Anyway, I've decided I think I actually like the frame going horizontally better. I'm having fun thinking about this whole process and what I'm going to do with it. This is going to be one of those where we see where it takes us, and so we'll be doing that relatively soon as I can get at least a couple of these other projects done and out of my way. Really want to get that Black Pearl project. Really like to get the Cathedral Window project finished as well. We'll see. That is my update. This is a short, quick video. Like I said, I wanted to give you an update because I've been pretty absent here. I'm still getting over this cold, so it's been hard to talk, and truthfully, it's been hard to concentrate on sitting and stitching. As you may know, I work at a local garden center, and so April, May, and early June is our busiest season, so my hours have picked up at that job. And I also have a second job that I'm working a little bit occasionally, and I'm going to be doing that quite a bit in the next couple of weeks. It's also gardening season, and I really love working in my garden, and right now I'm just sort of cleaning up for spring and enjoying the spring blooms as they're starting to come out. A lot of this is stuff that I've just recently planted, so it's fun to see it coming along. One other thing I wanted to let you know is that I have been teaching some crazy quilt classes here in northern Colorado. And so I have another one coming up in May. If you're in that northern Colorado area, you can message me and I can let you know the details of that if you're interested in learning more. There's my quick update. Thank you so much for following along today. Thank you for all the likes and for subscribing to the channel. Can't tell you how much it means to me. I love seeing those numbers going up and people getting excited about crazy quilting. So thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Happy stitching. I'll see you in the next video.